Peace, good world. Coach Kerry, Cosmic King, Delusional, athlete culture, athlete basketball in the building today, kind of in rare form. Uh, a basketball colleague of mine just asked me an important question, and we're in our GM minds, right? We're in our general manager minds. Not a place I like to go to. You know what I mean? And I'm so used to, like, even as a youth coach, right? Even as a youth basketball coach, I'm so used to just receiving a group of players and having to do what it is that I can do with them. So um, when it comes down to getting into my GM mind and picking out players, um, it's you know, I mean, even on the playground, I'll pick one of the worst players and then have them pick the rest of the squad. You know what I mean? Or I pick the player that I know that'll you know play with my playing style the best, and then have them pick the rest of the squad. But getting into my GM hat here, and the question is, who are you picking, right? James Harden or Jrue Holiday? This is at the point guard position, right? And my thing is, well, James Harden had a phenomenal time in Houston. Um, and when we get into our GM hat, it's so much more than basketball. When we get into our GM hat, ain't nothing bigger than basketball, right? Because obviously James Harden is fine. He's playing ball somewhere, and he's very well off, right? When it comes to a basketball question. So, but as a GM, when you're managing that much, when you're managing those assets, it's a little bit bigger than basketball. There's a lot to consider when you're choosing, especially your point guard position, right? Um, or not just the point guard position, but building your team around somebody. And it's crazy. Like it was crazy for me to tell him that I would pick Jrue Holiday, knowing what I know now, right? Not from I probably wouldn't say the same if let's say I was looking at a James Harden from his rookie career, like when he first got in the first 3 years in the league. You know what I mean? But of course, that's not how GMs pick players. So with what we know now, who are you picking to run your team? Jrue Holiday or James Harden? And it as tough as it is, I went with Jrue Holiday simply because I know what I'm gonna get. Jrue Holiday is a consistent 20 plus uh, defense, steals. Uh, you know what I mean? Like, you know what you're gonna get out of Jrue Holiday. Now, what is probably unfair to James Harden is the teams that he's landed on, and the um, locker rooms that he's been in, and players that he's played with, that might not be fair to his evaluation, right? So, but those are all things that GMs and owners and da 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 are considering. So, you know, and it's always easier to sleep at night when you know what you're getting. You know what I mean? Like when there's no mystery there. There's no you know what I mean? Like, you could go to sleep at night. You go to sleep at night and wake up at when you're supposed to with with a Drew Holiday. Like, you know what you're gonna get uh, from a Drew Holiday as compared to uh, you know James Harden. And I mean, the talent usually the talent outweighs that, right? But outweighs anything, any locker room and any little, you know, things that aren't quite welcome in the total professional atmosphere. But when it really comes down to it, if I could get me four Drew Holidays, right, four guys that'll give me that 20 plus, like the Detroit Pistons with Rashid, Billups, Ben Wallace, and Tayshaun Prince, uh, and somebody else on that team, Rip Hamilton, right? If I could get that kind of squad together, obviously they won that year, and beat the Lakers that year, you know. Uh, the superstar quality is always great to have. It's always great to have. Always great to have, right? I mean, I'm sure even Brooklyn appreciated having James Harden for that um, little time that they had him. But when you're in a market that you can't really gamble a lot of teams can't afford to really gamble. So they're gonna be like, man, we want you so bad, but we're gonna go with that 20 plus points. We're gonna go with the guy that's consistently giving us um, great uh, team basketball points. You know what I mean? Consistently give you great team basketball points, give you great team defense. Um, you know, very little locker room issues. Da 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 da. You know, like yeah, people like a lot of teams will go with the safe bet, and I went with the safe bet this time. I'm surprised. I surprised myself. I went with the safe bet, and I'm feeling good about it. That's the whole thing. It's as insane as it feels. That's why I'm making this public commentary real quick. Like it just feels weird to be so okay with going with the safe bet, knowing what I know about so-called unsafe bets, right? Hmm. But when it's a team game, you can only do so much with that one guy. I mean, LeBron is evidence of that. Uh, the San Antonio Spurs evidence of that. It's a team game. I'm talking championships here, by the way. LeBron going to Miami is evidence of, and the league is even better now than well, I wouldn't say better now, but it's a different style of basketball that requires you to have four Drew Holidays, in a sense. You know what I mean? I mean, not in a sense. I mean, it's come on. Let's look at the Clippers right now. What's going on over there with the Clippers right now? So um, the level of basketball here is at that point right now. You know. So would you rather have Houston Rockets James Harden, or would you rather have Drew Holiday? You know what I mean? Because that's what you gotta go with, right? It's like, okay, why is James Harden James Harden? Well, his performance in Houston was incredible. You know what I mean? And he's been as he has his own consistency. He has his own consistency. Um, but taking that safe bet, knowing I could probably pick anybody else to throw in there, whether they're ball dominant or not, with Drew Holiday. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could see how much I'm battling with this decision, man. You know, but I think it's fine though. I would go with Drew Holiday. I would go with Drew Holiday. Safe bet, safe. You could, and then there's always the way that defense augments everything else about basketball, right? That people really, unless you're one of those basketball guys, like you really don't know what I mean, look at the Celtics right now. I'm done. All right, peace, good world. Coach Carey, Cosmic Keith Loosman, athlete culture, body mind engineering, athlete basketball. Still at it, man. Still at it. Peace.